On today's episode of Watch JR Go, we are here with the Car Trek Audi S4, and tomorrow I'm taking it racing. There's a lot to do. What is going on, guys? I am Watch JR Go, and today I'm here in the shop and we are getting this thing ready for a hardcore track day in a hurry. So I know the washing is not exactly part of it, but Scott is getting this thing clean, and Josh is over here fixing the wide body, as you can see. He's got some pliers and a piece of wood.
Who knew Nipex made a fender roll?
Yeah, they do. It's a very nice one.
It's very nice.
But basically, the fenders on this had been rolled before. I think Ed said he tried to unroll them because it was so poorly done. I mean, it's been bad for a long time. And of course, the fenders are cutting the tires. So Josh is doing his He-Man thing to wide body the Audi. And it's looking good, honestly. It's starting to look like an R34 if you can pop it out a little more.
Those weekends at the dirt track and demo derbies are really paying off.
Really, I know how to do body work. Oh wait, this is the my friend knows a guy who can do it cheaper. That's what we're doing.
I can do it cheaper.
Heck yeah, man. Anyway, this is actually coming out really well. We are going to, once it gets raised back up, I'm probably going to put fenders on the car. Blue Collar Collision and Glass is on standby to do that. I told them that like the car needs paint. I want it cleaned up, and I want to put fenders on it because they've been trashed for a long time. So Josh is making magic happen so that hopefully while it's on track, it doesn't cut the tires open. Can't open the tires on this thing.
It's not the tire smoke you want to see.
It is not the tire smoke you want to see. So the S4 is looking super clean, and then it's time to get after some maintenance. It's popping a little bit. So I went ahead and picked up some spark plugs, one heat range colder here. We've got some, these are the BKR7E. This is what's recommended for an Audi S4 with a tune, which is what this is. And I went and bought more Gear 375W90 because today we are going to finish changing the front differential and transmission gear oil. Since we're doing all this with the greatest fluids in the world, 100% synthetic gear oil, which is crazy. And we gotta rock the sticker. That looks about centered to me.
That professional application.
It was not centered.
Close enough.
Narrator voice. It'd be cool to have a bunch more decals all over the car, a whole livery. I'm actually not kidding about the livery. I did a lot of work to get this done, and the timelines didn't work out with the print shops, but I designed an Ant-Man wrap, and it has Ant-Man like the pull my finger dude, and he's reversed on both sides, and he's got his mask on, and he's looking forward. And the car was gonna be, we had a bunch of little ants we were putting down the rockers, and the wrap was all designed, and unfortunately, I mean, they said they might be able to print it today, but it probably isn't happening at this point. If they do, it'll go on tonight. We will have Ant-Mans and maybe some funny racing numbers and stuff like that going on the car as fast as we can. I put in a can of EPR. I know this is not for engines with excessive sludge. We don't know what the sludge situation is, but I want this thing to be perfect. So we're running the EPR, assuming this engine's been changed at like 100,000 miles. Shouldn't be too bad. We put this in before we change the oil, and we run it, we idle it for, well, 1200 RPM for 10 minutes. Then we'll change the oil and we'll put MOA in it, and then I'll put 44K in it with the Mow tool that's going in as well. So it's getting everything. Josh grabbed a random pipe, so we've got that holding the throttle at about 1200 RPM. It was 11:51 when we started. At noon 01, we can pull that out of there and change the oil.
You think we should just pull the coils while it's running and swap these plugs?
All right, the S4 just ran for 10 minutes. Time to lift this thing up, drain out the old oil, and refill it with some good stuff. This has a medley of oil, I think that's what you call it, from the trip home. I had to keep oil in it, so you put what's available. Any full synthetic 5W40. Here comes the part that's real sketch. I have the...
That's my favorite part of every oil change.
Yep, the part where the drain pan fails. Yes. I have a feeling this is gonna come out like water. Actually, I'm just gonna let the plug drop while I try to dynamically position.
Yeah, don't try to stop it.
Yeah. Oh man, how even?
Oh, there's one drop.
I did see one drop. Ooh, I did not expect that to work out at all.
Yeah.
Here's how you do this. I don't want to have to kiss it with that filter. Josh is pulling the wheels so we can go after trying to raise up the suspension here. It looks like we do have some access now. So that will be awesome if this works. And our new filter's on, drain plug's back in, AC is dripping on our heads as we work, and I'm trying to pull the fill plug for the transmission. So somebody mentioned it in the other comments, I figured I'd say it again, but on the back, of course, the fill plug was about to fall out, so I didn't need to check that first. But when you're doing these side fill systems, make sure the fill plug comes out before you drain them. Otherwise, it's the most fun dance you've ever done in your life, where you get one of your friends over and they have to suck all of the gear oil out of a bottle with a syringe, and then you hold your hand over it, then you move your hand, and they fill it, and you put your hand back over it, then you go for the next one, and then you shove the plug back in, and you lose about a half quart on yourself while you're trying to solve the problem that you could have avoided in the first place. I'm checking the fill plug on this one first, of course, and then we'll get out that drain plug and that drain plug. And on this, there's like a divider in here. So it all drains through these two holes, but when you fill it up and it starts dripping, and then you wait, and then you fill it again to make sure all the fluid goes back into that rear housing there. So that is what we're doing today. I think we're gonna put a pipe on that. Only moments later, we're left with sheared off adapters because of how tight that plug was. We ended up using a giant Allen wrench and putting a pipe on that. Works every time. Time to look for metal. Oh, that looks great. Stop splashing on me and I'll be happy. Dude, I'm pulling. Ugh. Whoever put these in was not kidding. Transmission and everything else is fully drained down. Josh is cranking away on the suspension here. He's raising these back up.
Nipex for the win, man.
Yeah, we don't have the suspension plier. I mean, these are different on every single one, that spanner wrench. So the Nipex is getting it done. This one's already raised. If you look at the body, you can see it's raised a lot, which is probably almost stock height. And then we have new tires that they should be arriving any second now. They were overnighted. Michelin Pilot Sport 4s, one of the greatest tires, except for the Sport Cup 2 for when you're on track, of course. I'd like to have, you know, some R1Rs, R888s, but the PS4s were actually available everywhere, and it's an incredible tire that's good for like street and track duty. These Kumos, they're going away. After what it did to me in the mountains, they're going away. Shock's still moving. Gear oil going in, that fresh. Yum, yum. And the car looks amazing. The car looks like it's floating, kind of like a time machine. Looks very, very Back to the Future. Check out those views. We're on bottle number 2 right here. Uh-oh. Josh brought in the weapon.
Small hammer.
All right, we're gonna get that shock to move.
Small hammer time.
Hammer time.
It's never happened to me before.
I swear, baby. So we just put in our BG Moa. Now it's time for our oil pour. No pressure. Don't spill it. You know the drill. Fluids are done, cars raised back up. Take a look at that. I think the stance looks incredible. Josh nailed it here with his finger measurement. He's just like, yep, it's the same on every side. And now it's time to change the plugs, which should be a relatively easy job. Oh yeah, there's oil in there. Oh, I have valve cover gaskets, but we don't have time. Like spark plugs are a 10-minute job. Valve covers, I think we need to do it.
I mean, this side will be easier than the other.
This side is easy. You're completely right. That side is buried. Oh man. Well, let's do this side then. Also, these are the R8 or R coils. This is a huge upgrade over what came on the S4. People were super pumped when they saw these coils. I know Tavares was busy taking them out, but these are good coils. It has an IC or ICM delete and the ECS tuning coil adapters on there to upgrade to these things. This car has literally everything you could want. There's one. Not oily. The back one was the oiliest one. That's a good sign. And now I think we gotta pull this. It's trying to come off. All right. And everything should be free to pull this out. And I've gone ahead and loosened the diverter valves. Diverter valves are forged. These are upgraded. which is awesome. I bet this thing could probably use intake gaskets. Look at the brake booster line. That's original, and it's sure trying to come apart. That's nasty.
That might be worth an upgrade.
It might be. Everything else seems to be holding some fuel line or anything. Yeah. These are original. They say Audi, and they're not cracked. That's a good sign. I think we're ready to do the valve cover. Like, this one's basically uncovered. That was quick. Oil again.
So just a bunch of 10s and a
bunch of 10s.
Allen on the front.
Yes, sir. There's oil all over the bottom of that thing. So there's this cool feature there where if you drop this, it goes into the turbos. It's straight down into an open hole.
Yep.
Here. Hole is plugged.
So he gets an alley-oop.
That's right. Interesting fact, that's where the stock coils go, the terrible ones. If you have those coil covers, you have to take them off just so you can get those last 2 bolts out. Yes, there she let go. Awesome. Oh yeah, the oil is dripping. The goo's coming out. It is the studs. Who studs a valve cover? Alright, there it goes. I got most of it. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you don't need to RTV these.
Oh my goodness.
And they leak like crazy. And have been forever. The cams look beautiful. Take a look inside that beast. Cam tensioner is, I mean, there, and there's a shoe on it. It's not bad.
No.
I'm not upset about any of this.
Chain's nice and tight.
Awesome. These things are nasty, and they're about to be crispy. All right, we've got our mating surfaces cleaned up, and I'm gonna run over to the parts washer, grab the valve cover out of there. It's been soaking, but everything's clean. The new gaskets are on. These gaskets actually sit on the studs, and then you just put it back together, torque to spec. All the new plugs are gapped and in as well. What was the gap? 028?
026.
026, cool. Well, there you go, and we use the new spark plug gap tool to do that, the one where you can just screw it down to set the perfect gap. Well, it's been about an hour since the last update here, and most of that time has just been spent cleaning. So tons and tons and tons of cleaning on the valve covers and on those ECS tuning adapters. These are actually really neat. They have little notches to line up the coil packs, and that's all put back together now. Spark plugs gapped, gaskets are torqued to 7 foot-pounds, and there's 0 RTV. Because I'm sure the factory doesn't use RTV, so we went ahead and tried to just make sure it's perfectly even on the torque across the thing, and hopefully that keeps it from leaking with a good amount of gasket squish. So Josh is cleaning up this side here, and it's just about done too. This valve cover looks amazing after some cleaning there. So we're getting there. This is a process, but it was probably worth it for the spark plugs.
We went back and forth on whether or not to do it.
I definitely tried to bail on the valve covers because I was like, this is gonna take hours.
I wasn't gonna allow it.
Everything else, there was too much oil on the bottom of the thing. That's really the problem.
Yeah.
Too much oil. So we're basically there. A few more minutes and cleaned up the, almost dangerous. We cleaned up the intake tubes here, tried to get everything nice and ready to seal when it goes back together. Cleaned up the O-rings, everything's been cleaned. Well, after today, everything looks a lot better. You can see the new gasket poking out there. They are all torqued evenly, which is probably something that hadn't been done before. I had to reroute all of the meth injection lines, cut some of that tubing off because it was all tore up. The brake booster line was trash. We had to replace that. Quick run to O'Reilly's. Valve cover gaskets were from O'Reilly's too. 5702Rs. That is the Felpro gasket set that comes with the spark plug well gaskets. And a ton of cleaning and a few hours of work. This thing is back together. So it's time to load it on a trailer and go do some racing. I'm pumped. So I guess I'll give it a minute here, get some oil temp in it, and then we'll make a pull because we need to make sure that everything's working and there's no boost leaks. That's the key here. If there's a boost leak, we are in trouble. We weren't even going to test drive it. We were going to load this on the trailer and take it, which is what I normally would do. But we were thinking about it and like, we're going to drive all the way there, and if charge pipe blows off or something like that, you're just dead in the water.
And you don't want to give Jake that much. That
Right.
bragging right.
Right. I'd be out there in A trying to
Yep.
making the pass. Yeah, I bet this 2.7 doesn't make any power without its turbos. Oh, dude. It didn't scrape.
Oh.
I was like, oh, let's send it in this corner. Wow. This thing always scraped going over anything like that. Well, I'm all loaded up with my CarTrek car, but if you guys are looking for a car like this, make sure you start your search at Autotempest.com. Autotempest is, of course, where the CarTrek cars come from. And I bought this from CarTrek, so it's from Autotempest as well. And it's the best place to start your search for a used car. It searches all the major listing sites, eBay, Carvana, TrueCar, everything at once. One search, all the cars. So leave a comment below. Tell me if you think this is gonna blow up on track or what you're looking for that's not gonna blow up. We took this thing out, filled it up with gas. It now spikes to 25 PSI when you get in the throttle, which is definitely not right. But man, is it fast. It will probably run a 12 like this. Anyway, we think we found an issue with one of the solenoids, the N75 solenoid. Shout out to Steven for helping us diagnose that real quick. We put it back together the best we could, and now it's time to strap it down. We're ready to get on the road. Unfortunately, it looks like the tires that were overnighted did not make it, so thanks, shipping companies. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. The S4 should be a monster, and hopefully we fixed a vacuum leak with that brake booster line. Huge thank you to Josh for helping all day. We got a lot knocked out in one day. It was like all of the fluids, everything but brake fluid, the thing I wanted to do too. We'd already gotten the wheels back on. I was like, there's no reason to take these off.
We got to torque those.
We do have to torque those. I was just remembering. I was like, ooh, those would fall off.
Yep.
Anyway, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjrgo.com where you can get cool shirts not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. Man, a bus. Huh. Let's fire this bad boy up. Check it out. This bus is changing colors. Ooh. So much black is already on it. It's about to be completely black.
Yeah, it is.
If you're from Wichita, you know immediately the design. These are the actual city buses. And it's pretty cool.